93.7 Citizen FM.
Right, good afternoon, Abuja. Check your time. It's 5 minutes past 3 on a Tuesday, 7th day in March 2023. And it's my pleasure welcoming you to our continuous broadcast of programs on your favorite radio station. This is Citizen FM 93.7, reaching you from the center of the city here in Abuja. How are you doing today? The weather is hot. I mean, I can tell you that. But of course, you know how it is. This is our land, and any which way it is, we just move on. Just take it easy, with one step at a time. Do that thing you're doing very easily. There's no need to rush. I discover that we have this tendency to always be in a hurry, rushing and all of that. And that is where you make errors. When you do it one step at a time, like they used to tell us when we were younger, they say, slow and steady always wins the race. So please take it easy wherever you are. We don't want you getting involved in a crash or whatever, okay? Drive slowly. If you're on foot, take it one step at a time, and definitely you'll get to your destination. My name is Ernest. It's another day on Politics Now, and like I always say, this is that show where we dissect and discuss those issues that affect us to see if our leaders are actually listening, whether they are listening, and then begin to make adjustments to the way they do things so that we can have that great nation that we all dream about. The essence why Nigerians are doing things is we are dreaming of that great nation. You hear of people running away, go to this country, go to that country. People built these countries, and we believe that right here in our country, we can also build that great nation where so many people from outside will be wanting to be a part of. And if you want to be a part of that, then you have to be a part of this show, and you have to understand that you need to do your share as well to contribute to the development of Nigeria and not to destroy Nigeria. How are you doing? Welcome once again. Today, we are still looking at those issues. There was so much going on yesterday. On Thursday last week, there was so much going on the show. Yesterday, we were here again, and so much is still was going on. So today again, we will still say, okay, why there are so many issues going on? The topmost on the minds of our people today is elections. Elections will be coming up later this Saturday. And of course, there was election about 10 days ago, and we are still looking at it. We congratulate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who has been declared the president-elect. But of course, while we do that, we also have to use the corner of our eyes to look at those he contested with. Some of them are arguing and saying that, look, I don't agree with this. And so those are issues that we are still looking at. How come in our country, when statutory bodies do things, we don't trust them? There's a trust deficit in the system that we don't believe them. There's another agency now that is doing a job underneath now. Their job will soon manifest in a few weeks. Nobody is bothering about what they are doing. But as soon as they come up with that result, I'm sure complaints are going to come. We'll be mentioning them as we go on in this show to ask questions. I'm being joined this afternoon to still look at post-election matters, post-presidential and National Assembly election matters. He has been here before. I think he was with me here last week, and we had a vibrant time where you all were calling. Today, Barrister Victor Osogbue, an Abuja-based barrister. He has the chambers here in Abuja. He's joining me this afternoon to still look at the issues emanating from both our discussion yesterday and the election of just 10 days ago. Barrister, you're welcome once again to the studios of Citizen FM.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ernest, and good afternoon, our listeners.
Okay, Barrister, you're always smiling like this. When there is no naira news to spend, but your face is looking oily and shining and you're smiling.
I owe myself that. That is the only way to put through. That is the only way to put through.
Okay, so you just keep this positive mind.
You just need to have it on your face.
Okay, so I guess you guys are hearing that. So keep a positive outlook on life, and then you just be happy. No matter how tough things are, it is the state of your mind that actually determines how those things affect you. All right, Barrister, back to the issue. We've talked about this election before. And you were here the other time. You had the Constitution with you, and you had the Electoral Act. And you were pointing out certain things and all of that. And yesterday we were having a discussion, and some issues came up with my friend Jide Ojo, and all those issues came up and all of that. We'll be getting into all of that, but from your position now that a president-elect has emerged, And some persons have questioned that. What do you think should be the position of supporters right now? Since everybody has pitched their tents, the president-elect has emerged by the official organizers of the election, and then those who said they are aggrieved have said, we are going to take it up through legal means. What should supporters be doing now?
Yeah, in my own opinion, the supporters, in my own opinion, it's just for them to calm down. Okay. Yeah, we just had an election, and a winner has been announced, has emerged. The president-elect. My advice is that everybody should just calm down. I know we have some level of trust deficit, but that shouldn't be what will disturb us so much, in the sense that we're talking about democracy and we're running a constitutionally driven democracy. And if you look at it very well, in line with the provision of the Constitution, Section 6(6)(b), when you have a grievance or grievances, the only place you run to is the judiciary. Okay. And in this case, in line with the provision of the Electoral Act 2022, Section 149 says when INEC is done with an election and you're not satisfied with the election, you have grievance, you need to approach a competent court or a tribunal. So in this case now, knowing that it's talking about presidential election, whoever is not satisfied or is aggrieved should approach the courts, and he has to approach the Court of Appeal. That is the position of the law. So whoever is not satisfied with it should approach the Court of Appeal. And if I may stretch it further, I want to put it this way, that a protest took place yesterday, or had protest by the...
I was going to come to that, but
I'm just trying to link it up to it for proper understanding. In my opinion, I don't have a problem with the protest, but I think we just need to take it easy, in the sense that the peace that is actually in the air for me might be described as the peace in the graveyard or sorrow-about, and for that reason I feel it's fragile and we need to be careful with it. If I have my way ordinarily, if the matter has actually been, they have actually made some sort of commitment to the understanding of Nigerians that they're going to approach the court. So if they're going to approach the court,
and the winner also is saying, look, I'm reaching out to you guys, let's be friends, let's do things together, which are all peaceful means.
You know, in this, I just feel that, the winner is reaching out. You know, let's put it succinctly. Even if the winner is reaching out, I don't think our democracy has matured to that extent where the losers will now say, okay, fine, he's reaching out to us. We're not going to go to court again. We just want to sit down and have tea together. The level of our democracy has not gotten to that extent. Most especially when some persons feel that, certain legal fundamental procedures were not observed the way they ought to be observed. So for that reason, they believe that, it's defective. And being that it's defective, they believe that, when we approach the court is likely to actually upturn the position of INEC in their favor. So that is just what it is. And also, they've also met with their lawyers, and they're also meeting with their lawyers. Of course, lawyers going to use their legal vernacular to look at it, and they may look at it. We're going to look at it differently. If you put this to it, you're going to be right. There's the chances that you're going to succeed at the court. The other one will say, look through it this way. The way I look at it is that we're talking about the issue of 25%. We're talking about 25% to turn off the states of the federation and FCT. That is the epicenter of the argument. And some also telling you, we're talking about the issue of the beavers, we're talking about the issue of the uploading, Section 60, throughout, copiously Section 60 sub 5, that they ought to have actually transmitted or transferred it. The Act actually used the word transferred it in line with the prescribed manner by INEC, in line with their guidelines. Now you're going to ask, what was the guideline given out by INEC? They're going to transfer the votes. Haven't done comparison with the polling agent, the party agent, the presiding officer. Haven't done that. Subsection 5 says that the presiding officer will not transfer the votes
via.
Let me use the word. Transfer the vote in line with the prescribed directive by INEC. Now, where the argument is now, You know, when some say that, putting it this way, that there's no time like for it. But when you look at the sequence of the provision in that section 60, you look at 61, 62, 63, then 65 that copiously provided for that, you discover that there is no lacuna in it. There is no
it is
time.
immediate.
Yeah, it is. There is
a follow-up.
There is sequence. They are not saying, when you load the polling booth, you now get to the other center before you do that. Because when people, I've heard people talking about that. Oh no, there was no time frame. Like that was the issue. That was what your guest mentioned yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no time frame for it. No. It's convenient. Depends on your political interest. Where you say, there's no time like to it. But when you look at the sequence of activities, all those activities ordinarily, the law expects it to take place at the polling booth. Yeah, at the polling booth. But in a situation where it did not take place at the polling booth in that prescribed manner by INEC, then the question is, have you fulfilled the requirement of the law?
Okay.
That is the question.
Okay, Barrister, thank you for that clarification. But away from all of that, actions at the these are post-election matters and all of that, pre-election, so many Nigerians are saying that the opposition relaxed its guard. The opposition parties relaxed their guard based on so many factors. For instance, there was this rumor that President Buhari, who was saying, vote for whoever you like, despite him saying at one time too that Asiwaju will be the next president. He also said, vote for who you like. And so many things, and of course, the Naira redesign issue to avoid vote buying, and all these issues, and of course so many issues that came up about the current president-elect and all that. And so the opposition now believe that if the president, who doesn't have an interest, he's not running again, is there, and Mahmoud Yakubu is also there giving them assurances that all these factors put together give them this confidence that yes, we can decimate the candidate of the APC, and that suddenly, because it didn't work out like that, and so rather than coming together, the opposition now, they decided to run individual battles, and suddenly they see the Bola Tinubu taking the cake, and suddenly they are shouting foul. Some people say that if they had consolidated, which is what the APC did, and some people are using examples across the African continent, that no one party has ever removed the ruling party in Africa except by coalition. What do you say to that? That probably, I read a report by one man called Joe Trippi, I think it's an American, who said, look, opposition people in Nigeria, instead of coming together, they just went and scattered their votes and they lost. Because, like we said the last time you were here, if you tally the votes of the opposition, it's more than double that of the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the current president-elect. So the opposition maybe got their acts wrong pre-election. How do you respond to that?
You know, when I came into this program, when you announced me, you called me and you actually correct a legal practitioner. So as a lawyer, I will deal with evidence.
Okay.
I don't. I don't want to be called.
Please don't do that. Barrister, we are you see, I know you are a lawyer, but we are discussing our country.
Yeah,
and it is important for us to lay foundation so that if we want to do things, because the target of every Nigerian, both those who are saying we won and those who are saying no, you did not, is a better country for all of us. And we must find a way to contribute so that going forward, we now know what to do so that we can achieve those things we want to get to make Nigeria better.
You're correct, but even at that, you're not going to use that position you just expressed now to seduce me into saying things I know I'm not going to be comfortable with. Okay. What am I saying? Okay, no, I don't want what am I saying? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that all those things you just mentioned, they ought to have done this, to have done that. If they have done this and that they would have achieved victory, they would have defeated probably APC. I see it as sort of political speculations. Okay. I don't trade with speculation. That's why I say, as a lawyer, I don't trade with speculations. Like we're talking about when a coach is handling the football team now. If the coach just lost a game, I don't want to mention, a club lost a game, not not quite long. You will not say, oh, the tactics.
Why are you doing that, Barrister? Some people, like, you are giving some people heart attack already by mentioning that.
I didn't mention name.
Okay,
I didn't mention name.
Okay, Barrister did not mention any name.
No, I'm in a safe corridor. I didn't mention name.
Okay.
Yes. You see it this way that, okay, fine. But if you have deployed, if you had won that game, you won't say the tactics or the deploy that it wasn't an ideal tactics for victory. Okay. That's exactly the same thing I'm talking about. Okay. Nobody wants to go into a political contest just because he wants to lose. And nobody wants to actually, no coach wants to tell his club, oh, go to the field and play this game and say, oh, I just want to lose. It is because they lost. That's actually we are talking about this and that. The question is, if they had won, I'm not sure what is on our lip will remain the same thing what we're saying now. So they had their permutation. Okay. They felt their permutation could supersede the other party's permutation. But you and I know that there are some persons, all those things we're talking about are in the public space, so to say. They are not things that you can canvass in court.
Okay.
That is the reason why I don't want to place premium or value on them. They're not things that you can canvass in court. Things that you can canvass in court are the real fact, verifiable evidence that has probative value. Okay. So I don't want to deal with that. That is meant for
the supporters.
Exactly.
They can at the street level.
They can be doing that to stir up themselves. Yes.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. But on the other side too, still related. I don't know if you're going to say evidence. Yeah. Do you think the trust we placed on INEC was misplaced? Because there was this trust we had in INEC, and we are in a country where public institutions scarcely ever deliver, but there was this high level of trust. People were, even presidential candidates were boasting with INEC that you can't threaten me. After all, there's beavers that is going to checkmate any untoward action you're going to take. Yeah. Was it misplaced?
I don't need to pretend about that when it was misplaced.
Okay.
Yeah, it was misplaced. And as far as I am concerned, I felt that what the performance, I cannot actually rate the performance. It's not because of I believe in procedures.
Okay.
I believe in.
Of course, you're a lawyer.
Yeah, I believe in procedure. I believe in the commitment.
Okay.
When issue of trust. Trust is not what you forced out of people. You earn it. You earn it. When you say before the election, in the public space, we had over and over again, we're going to do this. This thing is going to bring merit to the exercise. Nigerians are going to be proud of the so-called the election we're going to conduct, and they actually conducted it. I have listened to Mike Guinness several times, and he has assured the public that, oh wow, at the end of the election we're going to clap for INEC. If I ask you the question, how many persons or people are clapping now? INEC chairman himself has sat in different forums and have said, oh, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to transmit it on time, this, that. If I ask you now, is this the same story now? And despite their reassurance that he gave a couple of hours or days ago, I think about less than 72 hours, he gave that couple. Now you ask yourself, people are still struggling to see how they can reignite that trust back. And that is where you and I will come in. We don't have another country. This is the only country we have. So we still need to encourage ourselves. We need to motivate ourselves that, look, we're going to do it better this time around. That is why they also need to manage the information around this issue of reconfiguration. So we're already struggling with the issue of trust. And you're not making an application that, we want to reconfigure the beavers. When you're putting it that even in the depth of people trying to say, whoa, are we actually living while we are still dreaming? You need to look at it very well. How come that this information, I wouldn't know whether you heard about it before that, after the presidential election, the beavers are going to be reconfigured.
We're only hearing after the election.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That issue came up.
Exactly. So if it is after the election, considering the mindset of some people, and you are also now bringing that one in, are you consolidating on their doubt, or are you trying to see how
does that build trust?
Is it a consolidation of their doubt, or you're trying to reassure them that, expect better things out, they are going to come? And also, when you are saying we're going to do better, we're going to deploy the beavers, we're going to make use of them fully, Are you also saying that the last one you used, it wasn't fully? These are, I see them as some statement that has an element of admission. So that is why I always plead. If you are putting some certain expression out in the public when it concerns very sensitive issue, you need to look at it, roll the thoughts very well around in your mind before you put it out. Because whatever you mention now, being in charge, you are the institution in charge now. Whatever you mention now, whatever you put down to the public, you put out to the public, it's going to have some level of interpretation. That is it. So as it is now, they want to reconfigure the beaver, and when you say reconfiguration, use that word. You want to reconfigure. Some will tell you, okay, you want to reformat or you want to format. So it's going to raise some level of suspicion. So I think they need to see how they water that expression out, so that the public will understand it better. That no, you don't have reason to be scared, or you don't have reason to be scared. Oh, we're not going to alter. We're not going to alter the informations that are there from the presidential election. They are still safe. Nobody's going to alter it. If you say you want to reconfigure the beavers or thereabouts, let them know you're not reconfiguring the information that is already there information that emanated from the presidential election.
But electronically, is that possible to reconfigure and still have the same information that is there intact?
I'm happy you asked this question. That is the struggle. You see, that is the struggle. I'm actually,
I understand.
This is what we're discussing now. I actually expounded it from the issue of, when we talk about the issue of trust, and I had to link it up to this. That is where it comes in. How safe is that information there? Because it seems as okay, fine. If the argument is going to emanate from that aspect, it's going to the reliance is going to be on the beavers. So if you are saying you want to reconfigure it, after the presidential election, before the gubernatorial election, now the question will now remain that the data is therein, the information therein, are they going to be safe? Would they still maintain their originality? Because if they maintain their originality, their integrity is guaranteed to some extent. But the man that is not in custody of it, the people are not seeing it that way. So now I said, I would have preferred a better word for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have preferred a better word, but especially when it was not put in the public space before the election.
Okay.
Yes.
That is true. Now, Barrister, here at Citizen FM, we are very neutral. So we try to look at issues from both from this side and from that side. I want to ask you this. If the opposition, despite all the challenges we have enumerated, some of our guests, including you, have enumerated, including myself, I've complained of how I suffered and I failed at the election. If the opposition had won, would we be digging up all these things? Because from now it's because the ruling party won, so everybody's saying if the opposition had won this election, would we be doing this post-mortem in this manner that we are seeing on the street? People are shouting, protest, and all of that.
Yeah, it's just for me, the question you're asking me now, if I'm to narrow it down, or you just micro-short it, what you're asking me is that, if my candidate had won, will I be complaining? For me, I don't. My approach to it is not in that perspective. Okay. Sincerely, it's not in that perspective. My approach to it is
it's about Nigeria,
the procedure and the law. It's not just about Nigeria, because when you're looking at, you see, when there are laid down conditionalities, there are laid down procedure which an institution or person must follow in achieving a set goal by law. The only way you can't deviate from it is you can only deviate from it if there is another law that provides for that avenue for you to deviate from it. If you deviate from it, it amounts to you either an affront against the law, or you are amending that provision, and you are not. You are not in legislature, you are not in the ballot chamber, you are not member of the National Assembly. It is not a resolution from the National Assembly.
Even if you were, there's a procedure.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So that is what, if you were to interpret it, it will look as if, you are amending it. But the law is already there. So you have to follow it religiously, or if you're deviating from it, you have to rely on another law that gives you that legal strength to deviate from it. But if you do it on your own, it's an armed front, and apart from that, it's an infraction.
Okay.
That's where I see it. So that is why my own approach to it is that it's just I'm actually looking at the procedure, not whether that you have taken a very good example in law. No matter how transparent you have conducted a proceedings, if fair hearing is not given in it, if the condition precedent is not observed in it, no matter how wonderful you conducted that proceedings, it amounts to a nullity.
Okay.
Yes. Even if a judgment is given, it amounts to a nullity. So it's not.
It has nothing to do with
exactly.
Anybody who would have won, so long as there were procedural failures.
Exactly.
They still stand.
Okay, just like a very good example. I am not preempting the court, and I'm not looking at it from that perspective. We're talking about the issue of Section 134 of the Constitution. We're talking about 25% into third of the states of the Federation and FCT. And some lawyers are canvassing and backing on argument that INEC ought not to have announced, the winner. Now the question is, if at the end of the day the court now says, ordinarily having that 25% in FCT is part of the condition. So no matter how wonderful you conducted the election, it will come to a nullity. That's exactly what I'm saying.
All right, you're hearing the voice of Barrister Victor Osogbue, an Abuja-based lawyer, joining me this afternoon on Politics Now to look at the issues emanating that are still bothering us. We're trying to use all these things to douse the tension, to cool temper, like Lagbaja sang many years ago, so that this is our country, and you must know that whatever it is we are doing, when you step out from your house to vote, it is not a must that your candidate must win. Nigerians, you need to understand that there is nothing that says your candidate is going to win. So if your candidate does not win, you need to take it in good faith. If your candidate does not win, and there are procedural failures and certain things were done to prevent him from winning, there are actions to take legally to address that, and that is what we must wait for to take its course. It's not for you to be fighting people on the street and be yabbing them and using language and all of that. So that is exactly what we're doing here, because we are talking about Nigeria now, and I want to take the barrister on those areas, because barrister, I've come to see that have the Nigerians been able? Why is it that we haven't really bought into our nation as a country, that we the people buy into Nigeria and understand that this is my country and it is my job to do everything to protect her? Why do you think that is? That every Nigerian is ready to run the red light, do things, throw things out of his car. Even you see a big car worth more than 20 millions of naira, and you just see the owner is just driving on the road, just wind down and throw something out of the window, and you begin to wonder this issue of national orientation, that attachment, that this, you said it just now, this is the only country we have, and we need to treat her with respect. Why is it that, to an extent, most of us, even our leaders too, by when they breach procedures and things like that, we don't have that love for Nigeria and protect her by doing the right things at the right time?
This question you just asked me, it takes two to tango,
Okay.
Let me give you just mentioned some things I will refer to as little ones, Let me give you an example.
But they are part of it.
Yeah, let me give you an example that is when you go out, when you step out of this place, you see it. So I'm not talking about what has happened, I'm talking about what is happening.
Okay.
Now you go about now all the filling stations with your money in your pocket. You want to get PMX.
Okay.
What do you meet?
Chaos.
You see a very long queue. You have your money, you just want to drive into the filling station and get a PMS for yourself to fill your tank. But you see that you see queue there. And you ask yourself, why queue? And if you look at it, it's becoming perennial. Now, how come we can't solve the problem? How come we've had series of excuses that even some of them, you can have your doubts in some of them? That's what we're saying.
Okay.
The issue of trust. You're driving your car, which is very common along the airport roads, and A man that ordinarily ought to have left his office an hour to it's time for the flight, and because he happens to be somebody who occupies an executive position or thereabout, will just leave his office at about 10 minutes to the body time, and the next thing, the driver and the siren want to chase you out of the way, and it happens every time. Now, when you have displayed that you have chased the person out of the way without even bothered about what happens to him, haven't chased the person out of the way, are you not telling that person to kill himself for that same person who's occupying authority? Because if we don't manage these things well, the person is seeing himself on the other side as if he's not the owner of the country, while he's seeing the man that is occupying position in flashy lifestyle as the one occupying the country. Oh, this is their country. We own this country together, so we also need to balance it from all sides.
Okay.
Yeah, from all sides.
That's why I ask you the question.
Like I said, that's why I say we need to balance it from all sides. Trust is not what you force out of people. You earn it. So those in authority also should endeavor to earn that trust from the people. And the people also should look at it from this point that they don't have any other country. This is the only country they have. And most of the masses we're talking about, I said those that are, most of them that we'll talk about, how many of them have a dual citizenship? If we also look at the bulk of the people that have dual citizenships, so there are some of them that have occupying big time offices.
Victor, are we being oppressed by people in authority in our own country? Is that a good assumption to make? No. That the Nigerian people are under oppression, that the leader, because we can't even remove them when we want to. So
no, it's not about them oppressing. You see, it's not only them oppressing the
masses.
The masses.
Okay.
The masses at times also, out of the anger and the situation, also oppress themselves. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
Let's look at the issue of POS. Those that are operating POS.
Okay.
You imagine that when we discover that the currency had the cash, couldn't get cash and that. You see how they inflated the cost of making withdrawal from them. Oh, so if you want to get this, you're going to pay so high. And because people were in tight corners, and they also paid for it. So now, the person that is operating the POS, is he occupying an executive office, so to say? The answer is no. But by virtue of the reality at hand at that particular point in time, he's not just having power, okay. He created an office for himself, which he's also extorting from his own fellow masses. Okay. That's what we're saying. So
there's an extortionist mentality.
That is how it is.
Okay.
That is how it is. Well, okay, like now, I still go back to that issue of fuel scarcity. You see, once there's anything fuel scarcity, you see a lot of jerry cans at the roadside, and they sell to.
Look, Victor, is so disheartening
everywhere
in the number one street, in the FCT, the number one city in Nigeria, people are driving against traffic just to get fuel, and police, even police and soldiers are involved, and nobody cares.
That is
it's like we're living in a state of anarchy. And I was wondering, driving through central area yesterday, I was shocked. Is this our country?
That is exactly what I'm saying. If you go to
nobody is caring to say, look, this is wrong.
Go to opposite NNPC, you're going to find them there. They're selling in jerry cans. Now they're selling in jerry cans. If there is no boom for them, would they be doing? If there's no boom for them, would they be doing that? If there's no scarcity, would they be selling?
So Barrister, look, let's not. I don't want us to distract from the issue. How do we now get, if even those in authority themselves don't even really know what they should be doing? That their job, from what I hear you say, you didn't say it clearly, is to give good examples. Actually,
exactly.
That their job is to give good. How do we now get them to understand this fact that when you are in position of authority in a great country like Nigeria, every step you take should be the right one? How is it possible for the people to let a month or so ago, the British Prime Minister, I've said it on this program so much, was in a vehicle without his seatbelt, and it was the citizens who said, Prime Minister, you're not wearing your seatbelt, and the local police fined the man £100. How do we get to that level, Victor, so that we can challenge even the president when he's doing something wrong, rather than saying Sheikh Buhari has done his own? When we can challenge our president, say, Mr. President, you are our president, we agree, but you cannot do this.
Let me give you an example. There was a particular time I was driving around Wuse Market, and I got to a junction. There's a junction before Wuse Market, where the junction that one goes to the Wuse Market.
It depends on which side you're coming from.
Yeah, if you're coming, whether you're coming from Utrako, whether you are coming from Zone 3, the road that leads to the
by the
entrance, by the bank there.
Okay.
So, there's always a traffic at that junction.
Absolute chaos. I avoid that place for months.
Exactly. So, it so happened that I was unfortunate to have found myself at that particular point in time, So
that's one place I avoid, Victor. Yeah. I'm telling you. Yeah. Okay.
So there's a vehicle, all this taxi, one of them, he was actually staying in the middle of the road, even when the traffic officer, even when the traffic light had said he could move on, he was still there. It wasn't just there. I don't know whether you see some of them when they do. He came out fully from the window of his car, the driver's side, and he was shouting for passengers. So I was like, what is happening here? So I managed to circumvent his illegitimate and illegal showmanship. Yeah. I drove close to the traffic officer there, and I told the traffic officer, why are you looking at that man? Why don't you arrest that man for what he's doing? Because that is the reason why he's there. And you know what he told me? He said, but you have moved on now. Why are you still?
That means it is not your business.
Exactly.
It does.
He said you have moved on now. You've passed now.
No, it is our business. It is our country, and we must stand up all the time when things go wrong. You are listening to Politics Now on Citizen FM 93.7, reaching you from the center of the city here. And I'm being joined this afternoon by Barrister Victor Osogbue, a barrister at law here in the FCT as a chambers. And of course, we're looking at the issue post-election matters, and of course, we're talking about national orientation. I think, some people have been calling since. You can join us now if you so wish to be a part of the show. Let's hear your views. So you can call us 0903 222 9797 0903 222 9797. There's an alternate number 0818 2222 205 0818 2222 205. You call any of those numbers, you'll be a part of the show, and we can get your own take and see whether you agree with what the barrister has been saying since, or you are in disagreement. Our target here is to get all those ideas together that will make our country to move forward. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Hamza Shitu. I'm calling from Asokoro.
No. Please, could you take that name again, please?
My name is Hamza Shitu. I'm calling from
Hamza Shitu. Hamza, how are you doing this afternoon?
So I'm doing pretty fine.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us. All right, let's hear your take, please.
Yeah, I just called to give your contribution. I totally agree with what Barrister said. Because an incident just happened to me right now. As I'm talking to you, I'm driving.
I hope you are parked, because if you're driving and talking, that's against the law, actually.
No, I have parked.
Oh, fantastic. Go ahead.
I just wait for the traffic, because the traffic light showed red. So I just wait. The taxi man behind me was horning. I did not panic. When the light showed green, as I go, the man overtook me, went down his glass and insulted me. And I'm sure that man is above 50.
Okay, it's an elderly person.
So we keep insulting we keep complaining about our leaders, complaining. Why we are not trying to change this? Okay. We have to change before our leaders change. When we change,
then we can force them. There's no way they can cheat us if we are doing the right things. Okay.
Yes. Okay. If we change our attitude, whether the leaders like it or not, they will
force to comply.
Yes.
All right, Hamza Shitu, I want to really appreciate you for joining us this afternoon. Do have a wonderful day. Please keep listening to Citizen FM and you contributing. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
My name is Arumona Edward from Maraba.
Can you use Alumona Edward?
Arumona, Arumona.
Arumona Edward.
Okay, Arumona Edward. Okay, all right. Edward, please, let's hear your contribution.
The Bible says when the foundation is destroyed, nothing that a righteous man can do.
Okay.
Nigeria have a problem of foundation. I have to say that. And until that foundation is corrected.
What is this what is this foundation you're talking about? What foundation is that? Is it a building foundation?
Of righteousness.
Okay, the foundation of righteousness.
Foundation of righteousness.
Nigerians doesn't have the fear of God in our minds.
Okay.
We do things the way we want.
Okay.
Not knowing the implication that is coming ahead of it.
Okay. Okay.
Because the Bible says, he that knoweth to do good and he fail to do.
To him is a sin. Okay. All right. Edward, thank you so much. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon. Yeah. Your name is
Ben.
Ben.
Yeah.
Okay, Ben from Maribor. Yes, let's hear you, please.
I think you are guest. So,
hello, Ben. Oh, Ben, I think where you are, the network is very poor there, and we can't even. Hello, Ben. I think we've lost him. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
This is Ifa Ashuku, calling Ifa Ashuku Makaka.
Ifa Ashuku.
Ifa Ashuku citizen.
Okay, yeah. Okay, please go ahead. Let's hear your contributions, please.
The barrister spoken there is spoken the good mind. But you know, lawyers are the problem of this nation.
Please tell him, okay? Let's hear. Tell him, please. Let's hear.
Now the APC have rigged the election and they have gone and carry 40 lawyers.
No.
To move the court.
Come now.
You see what they will do there now?
Hold on now, brother. We are still.
I'm telling you the truth now.
Wait, we are trying to resolve this issue.
Today they start up.
Just.
PDP do it now. They show it them now. PDP and APC know how to read election.
I think you're very emotional this afternoon.
I'm just telling you, I'm not emotional. Now PDP and APC know how to read election. And there's a president promised to the nation.
Oh yeah, wait. I don't want
the type of legacy is legacy to Nigeria and the United Nations.
Hold on now. We are not. I don't want to cut you off, but see, it is our country, okay? Anything happens, like somebody just finished now, Edward just said, it is our duty to keep doing the right things by our nation. So if we feel that something was done wrongly during the elections, there are procedures for us to correct those things. And I believe those involved are willing to do that. Hello, brother, are you still there? Okay, I think he has shut his lines down. But barrister, you've heard all this thing, and you have been accused. They say you guys, lawyers are the
no,
problem.
I don't know whether I heard him rightly.
Okay, but before you go on, barrister, wait, before you
Good afternoon, Ernest.
Yeah, good afternoon, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Olajide from Area 11.
Okay, Olajide, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. No, there was a silent question. There was a very serious question you asked our in-house barrister.
Okay.
That if the opposition have won, will all these explanation inquisitive will arise today? And he couldn't give us a cogent answer. See, we should not forget that those in NANEC, they are human beings like us. If they say they want to do something, you know, say it's not one man show. They are more than 30 that will sit down and agree on a certain move of that commission. Okay. Secondly, our barrister should not forget that, as he is saying here, it will bring another barrister into that is in line with what is happening in APC. He will speak in line, and he will say we bring blood that we back it. Okay. And finally, these people have gone to court. And barristers should not forget that the INEC have their own lawyers, the winning party, APC, have their own lawyers, as well as the defeated parties. Let them go there. Nigeria is watching. All of them will present their own evidences. And this is what the judges will look into to give us judgment.
Okay.
God bless people. God bless Nigeria.
All right, Olajide, yeah, okay, you hung up, but I can tell you the barrister was not speaking from any aspect.
That is where he's. I think
the barrister has been neutral and he was not supporting or going against anyone. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Your radio set is howling back at me. Could you turn it down?
From Abuja.
What's your name again, sir?
Benson.
Oh, Ben. Okay, yeah.
How are you today?
I'm very well, please. Thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon to the barrister.
Yeah, he's hearing you, yeah.
Barrister, I want to ask you one question.
Okay.
If FTC hired you to come and defend their case in court against Labour, what would be your point of argument?
I guess what?
And if Labour hired you to come and defend them in court, in this their tribunal case, what would be your point of argument? Okay. 2, does INEC chairman have the right to announce what I did not score? Well, I know what I score. Based on the report my agent and FTC agent and PDP agent have in their hands. All of us have our report card in our hands, waiting for just the INEC have the authority to report, to announce it. And they are announcing a different thing. That the law expects us to keep quiet. These are the things I want to ask you. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. I think he's saying
should I answer him now?
Just hold on. Let's take this one final call. Yeah. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
The one that called before Ben.
Okay. The previous Ben. Because we had another Ben calling now.
I was wondering.
No. Definitely the voice was different. Yes, Ben. Go ahead. You couldn't finish your.
That was addressed to say every time that people will ask Mr. President not to do something and the Mr. President will listen. Yes, we are waiting for the time.
Okay.
And that time is time that the executive will not appoint the Attorney General of the Federation.
Okay.
The executive will not appoint the IG of police.
Okay.
The executive will not appoint the chief of army staff. All these things is what gives them the impunity.
All right.
Even if the opposition is the one that wins, and the people that are sitting now, the executive is not the executive was not being happy with them. They can change anything because the power is in them. Every power in Nigeria but not in this people. We want to separate the power so that ordinary people, but see, I hear a little lady from France going to America to accuse a sitting governor, and the sitting governor resigned immediately because there are no impunity there.
Okay.
I think so. What we are looking for when a president that we discover all this kind of power for one person. The executive will appoint the Attorney General. Tell me, how can somebody carry this case against the executive? You are wasting your time.
Okay.
So, thank you very much.
Oh, Ben, we want to appreciate you this afternoon for your very pungent this thing that he's saying. Yeah, that's so much power is concentrated in a certain area, and so they wield that against that. It's very difficult for citizens to go if the president does something wrong. Now, what do? He owns the army, police, judiciary, road safety, and all. I think to an extent, he has a point there. But and with time, when we begin to filter down the power, so much the appointment of these people. But ordinarily, when you are appointed by the president, you're supposed to be loyal to the constitution and to the nation, and not the president. You should be loyal to the president later. The president should be number 3 or 4. The constitution, the nation, the people, and then the president. But our people find a way to turn it around. Yes, barrister, you were looking at you were being accused of being the challenge of Nigeria.
I said let me address that issue. Said lawyers are, he shot himself at the same time. He first and foremost commended me.
Okay.
The lawyer there. Then he now went further and said, lawyers are the problem on the country. Now the question is, he has already said
that is not true anyway.
He has already commended me.
Okay.
I'm a lawyer. Okay. Then he went further and said, lawyers are the problem of the country. That if you bring another lawyer in, he will say, my advice to lawyers. My advice to them is, they are doing their job. They're doing their professional job. That That is essence of law. That is the beauty of law. And people should also understand that society develops when law develops. And what am I talking about? Jurisprudence. The content of jurisprudence is what enhances the cohesion of the society.
Okay.
When the society is driven, governance is driven by the dictates of the law.
Okay.
So when you don't have
justice is coming
when you don't have political altercation in this matter, that will now make that provision of the Constitution, Section 6.6, in line with Section 6 of the Constitution. What I'm talking about is our judiciary.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly Section 6. The Section 6 is, well, you're going to take your grievance to the court. Yeah. If you don't do that, the law itself will not develop. Okay. Society will not develop. The democracy which you and I we are craving for, the democracy itself will not develop. So lawyers are actually instrument of social engineering and engineering. It develops the society. Okay. No matter how you look at the law will always be there to watch over you.
I think when people see lawyers, that you see one color, or you see a lawyer from this side, we see this one, and they are happening on the same point. And we who are not learned, as you people say, we'll be wondering what are they talking about.
Argument
so these guys are saying the same thing, and they are saying it in a different manner.
Argument is the ingredient of advocacy. Advocacy is the beauty of law.
So lawyers actually help to enhance the democratic governance.
Exactly.
All right, let's not mistake it and say they are the problems of the society. Barrister, I just want to thank you so much for having time from your I know how you got here, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
for being
much.
here. All right, that's Barrister Victor Osogbue, a friend of the house, joining me this afternoon on Politics Now to look at these issues of post-election matters on the presidential election, and of course, national orientation. We are looking for that country where even when our president does something wrong, we, the citizens, can challenge him and say, Mr. President, you cannot do that because this is un-Nigerian. A Nigerian cannot do that. And like Ben said, that is the society we are looking forward to. And hopefully someday, let's keep dreaming and keep working hard. I'm sure we will get it. My name is Ernest. This is Politics Now. We'll return again tomorrow, same time. Be sure to keep a date with us. I want to thank my producer, Fred, for doing a good job. Fred, thank you very much. We'll be seeing you. Have a wonderful afternoon and be a good citizen. Bye-bye.